Mr. Kevin Smith, hello.
Good morning, Mr. Kevin. Well, I can't even say that. Normally, I'm like, Mr. Smith is my father. Mr. Kevin Smith is me. Unfortunately, I can't lay that on anybody else. Good morning. How are you, Sean?
Doing great. Always great seeing you. I'm going to assume you remember my face, or you can lie and say you do, and we'll both feel better.
Look, you're one of the only people who still talks to Kevin Smith. So I know all three of you very well. Admit it, I had you all over to the house fairly recently because nobody else has covered Kevin Smith, I assure you.
No, but I'm excited to talk Dogma again, which is finally making its debut on 4K home video on December 9th.
May I, quite like Gallagher in the 80s, work some props?
Oh, perfect gift.
I could have made a more current old reference by saying like Carrot Top in the 90s. But yeah, man, look at these sweet. This one autographed by Ben Affleck himself. Look at these. Sent from heaven above, for heaven's sakes. Because for years, the devil himself kept us from our grips, man. Now we get to have it. It's out there in the world. Lionsgate, home video, still making that physical media, still understanding that, like, you know, the AI bubble is going to burst and all the streams are going to dry up. So I want my Blu-rays, man. I want physical media. So heavens, Smod bless them. Love those people at Lionsgate. We've worked with these cats a bunch. And physical media actually got Clerks 3 made. When we did Jay and Silent Bob reboot, Lionsgate put it out on home video. And it did well enough for them to be like, we sold so many DVDs and Blu-rays. If you have any more of this Jay and Silent Bob shit, like, we'll pay for a movie. And that's how Clerks 3 happened. So if you're like, I hate Clerks 3, blame Lionsgate.
Well, you had those babies in your hands. I have to ask you, you know, what did it feel to hold, you know, the first 4K master and you realize that people could finally rewatch it or even experience it for the first time now?
It's nuts. There it is. Look at this. Look at the magic words. 4K. I don't know if I never expected to see a Kevin Smith movie in 4K. It seems like a waste of the medium completely. But, you know, in a world where this would be the movie that I would say, like, let's 4K that bad boy, for heaven's sakes. Like, it was me at my peak, Sean. And then it was all fall off downhill from there, for heaven's sakes. Look at that cast. Look at the ambition. One of the most creative things I ever wrote before I started writing Jay and Silent Bob over and over and over again. But a beloved flick in my repertoire, not just for me, but seemingly for the audience, because we took it out on tour this year. And my Lord, man, people sold us out like 2 shows a night, man.
I couldn't make it. I couldn't find a ticket. I didn't want to sell a kidney to come, but, you know, a lot of people were.
It was really sweet. And honestly, like, holding, to answer your question, because that's what we're here for, holding the actual physical media has been a trippy experience in a world where, like, see the poster? Like, they presented me with a bunch of new artwork at one point and said, these are the options for the new Dogma poster. And the concept of a new Dogma poster had never entered my consciousness. You know, yes, artists on the internet, you know, Mondo will do cool posters and whatnot. But the idea of an official, like, oh, this is the release poster for when your film goes back out, never occurred to me. So they showed me a few. One of them was this. Like, a lot of them, of course, showcase the cast because that's how they're going to put asses in seats. One looked like The Last Supper, but the one that popped for me was the Buddy Christ one, and it has the cast on it, but they're real small around them. So, you know, I was like, can we lead with Buddy Christ? Like, can we do Buddy Christ? Because we never were going to be allowed to do that in 1999. We couldn't even really show them in trailers and stuff. So they were like, yeah, but, like, you got such a great cast. Don't you want to show off all those famous people? I was like, who is more famous than Jesus Christ? So we sold Dogma the second time around on everybody's fave, man. Your buddy and mine, Buddy Christ. So it was just trippy going through an experience where all the things I had done on this movie, generally when you make a flick, you do it once and the experience is over. I literally got to relive it and improve upon it. We didn't take Dogma out on tour when I was a kid. Like, we went to the New York Film Festival. We went to Cannes first, then the New York Film Festival, and then at Toronto, and then the movie came out in a bunch of theaters. So going on tour with the 20 cities is like being like going to a church every night where you're both the priest and Jesus at the same time. As fun as it is for the audience, you know, as Michael Jordan allegedly said, fuck them kids. I'm there for, like, oh, the love. You could feel it. Oh, I'm relevant again. Like, it was just absolutely beautiful for me as well. So the whole experience, re-engaging with it and watching it night after night, because you had no choice. I just fell in love with it all over again, particularly Jason Mewes' performance. Everybody's fantastic in that movie, and I can't even take credit, man. It's not even like I was a great director. Who directs Alan Rickman? And the answer, fucking nobody. He directs himself. But I was there when it happened. I got to witness it. My name's all over it. And so, it's a movie that I hadn't fucked with that much over the years, because we didn't have it to fuck with. And we'd show it at Smodcastle or whatnot. And I reference it in movies and comic books. We brought Matt back to be Loki and Jane Silent Bob reboot. But generally, I didn't get to spend as much time with it. But on tour, I just got to watch it over and over and over again. And I was just so slobberingly grateful, so appreciative to that cast, to Bob Yeoman, Wes's DP. Wes Anderson took his eye off him for 1 second, and we stole Bob Yeoman and made a beautiful movie. And so as I watched it, now in the present, 98, 99, 98, we were making it, 99, you're releasing it, and you're in the middle of all that religious Sturm und Drang with the protests and the death threats. But in 2025, I didn't have any of that. I could just sit back and I could just enjoy. And man, I just walked away appreciating all the effort that everybody involved put in on my behalf, because they didn't get paid that much, Sean. Like this is a $10 million movie. All these actors were working for scale, which is the movie minimum wage. Like I didn't get paid a lot. Boj, Bob Yeoman, nobody got paid a lot to do the movie. So you're there more for the affection for the material or the affection for something I had done before. Like Alan Rickman was there because he loved Chasing Amy. He wound up loving Dogma, but Chasing Amy was the movie that brought me into his world, where he pursued Dogma, not vice versa. So getting to do it all again, rarely is one afforded one bite at such a delicious, wonderful apple. But then 26 years later, for somebody to be like, go on, bite again, was really quite lovely.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned the great cast. I spoke to Mewes after our original conversation we had, I think this past year, and he told me a lot of great stuff. And he said he did give the best performance, I think, out of everybody. Like really was into it with this knockout cast. You've told so many great behind the scenes stories of this film and everything else, but is there one or maybe two, a Dogma story you still haven't shared because it's too wild, or maybe the statute of limitations has finally expired?
Trying to think, it was just the other day. So the other day I went to see Frankenstein at the Guillermo. They had a screening at what was this place called? The San Vicente Bungalows. So it's like a bougie little club, like Soho Club or something like that. So I got an invite. My agent was like, "Hey, Al Pacino's having a screening for Guillermo del Toro, and they want you to go." All of this is foreign to me. Where I'm like, "What?" I don't, get calls like that. But I know Guillermo like just a little bit over the years. Guillermo and I were both at Sundance back in like '94 when I was there with Clerks. He was there with Kronos as a short film. So over the years, I've seen him like pop up, cross paths and whatnot. I've watched him grow and become, Guillermo DT, for heaven's sakes. So I go to the screening, and it was lovely. Frankenstein's fucking masterful. But when it's all over, like I got in just as he was doing his intro and stuff. So I got to see him do his intro. His intro was wonderful. And he said something kind of beautiful about like, this isn't taxidermy. I want to breathe new life into this. And that was such a great line. And then when he's done, as he turns, and I was by the door because I just came in, and he gave me like a big hug and stuff. So I sat and watched the movie, but I didn't see anybody else in the theater is my point. And then when the movie was done, like this is the way I was raised. You just sit there, watch all the credits, even if you're not waiting for like Captain America to show up at the end and shit. So, but they're not doing a Q&A or anything. He's having a reception downstairs. So everyone starts filtering out. And I see Sam Jackson, and I see, oh my God, why is his name? I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Don Cheadle. And I remembered that both of them were in the running for Dogma. I met with Don Cheadle. Like there was a moment where I was like me and Don Cheadle kind of looked at each other, and it looked like he was going to come over and be like, "Hey, we met decades ago." And then somebody came and said, "Hey man, Oscar Isaacs wants to say hello or whatever. So this sounds so name droppy, but I'm getting somewhere with it. So when I saw him, I was like, I had lunch with him. I went to Jerry's Famous Deli and sat down. This after Devil in a Blue Dress. He was like huge and stuff. And he was wonderful in that movie. But, and I think he also had Boogie Nights at that point as well. So, it was crazy. We wound up going a different way. We wound up making an offer to Sam Jackson, who was also at the screening. But while we were waiting for Sam Jackson to respond, Chris Rock had a general meeting at Miramax, and he was like, I love Chasing Amy. What is the guy doing next? And suddenly me and Scott met with Chris Rock, and we were like, oh my God, I was a huge Chris Rock fan going back to the, not just SNL days, but to like, I'm going to get you sucker, where he's like, how much, fuck the cup, just put it in my hand. Like, he was just always funny. And then Nat X on SNL, but then he was breaking as, the modern day George Carlin. Like he was fucking ascending. So, we were like, how do we not like this? Let's do it, man. Like, he's legit funny. I've seen him act. Like, let's do it. And they went and offered the part to Chris Rock. I think it's still a thing in this business. I don't know. But you're supposed to end negotiations or withdraw the part from the person you've offered the part to. And if you don't, it's actionable. So Sam Jackson wound up getting paid the most money of a cast member who wasn't even in Dogma, because we had given him the script, and then we had hired Chris Rock, and Sam's agent called up Miramax and was like, do you know how wrong that is? And so Miramax, the home of Pulp Fiction, was just like, and nobody else got paid. Everyone got scale on Dogma, man, but Sam wound up with a pretty decent little check.
That's a great story. I saw Frankenstein actually at the Netflix To Doom Theater and got to meet Guillermo and all of them and nerd out with them and stuff like that. That's a fantastic film. And Guillermo, I must say, is another fantastic talent.
Yeah, I was delighted. I stayed all through the credits because I was like, I gotta see. And I saw that it said the character design was based on Bernie Wrightson, and I knew it. As I was watching the movie, I was like, goddamn, that looks like Bernie Wrightson design. And it was. And so afterwards, I was talking to him about it. He goes, yeah. He's going, Bernie. I said, you took it from the books? He goes, Bernie did it for me. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, I've been working on this for 30 years.
Yeah, a long time. It's a passion project of his. And but that's a great story about Sam and all of them. All right, Kevin, I have to ask you this as the mayor of Nerdtropolis. I have to ask on all the behalf on the citizens of Nerdtropolis. Can you give us a scoop, a tease, or hint, or drop of what you're cooking up next?
I am. What am I doing right now? I'm having a blast writing this script. That's a period piece. It's not normally something that I do. But it's about like this cultural event that's very meaningful to me. So I'm on page 50, and I love when you're into like writing a thing. Like every morning I wake up at like 5, and I can't. It's because I don't want to sleep anymore, because it was like I could be seeing where it goes next. Like I could get 5 more pages in. So like then I come downstairs and just like go to work. And the other day, like I woke up at 5. And I was sitting writing, and it wasn't like when I finally left my office to go say hi to my wife, I was like, good morning. She goes, good morning. It's 2:00. And I was like, oh my God, I've just been sitting there for like, 9 hours or whatever writing. And I love that feeling. Like, this is the most romantic time of a creative's life, or in particular director's life, if you're a writer director, with a film, because nothing could go wrong right now. You know what I'm saying? You don't need the money. You don't need to find the actors. You can't like drop a camera and fuck it up. It's all here, and then it's all here. So it's, there's a part of me that's always impatient, where it's like, I just want to get to the end. But I'm trying to remind myself, the older I get, is like, you don't have as many bites at the apple as this as you used to have. So enjoy this. Like, enjoy the fact that you don't know how many pages it's going to be. Don't pre-plan. Like, if it gets to 120, fantastic. If it goes beyond 120, we'll figure it out later, but just let it unfold. Don't overthink it and stuff. So I've been having an absolute blast doing that. I don't want to say what it is yet, but it's the one movie that I honestly feel like, oh, this would be that grown-up movie I guess everyone's waiting for me to make.
No, that's awesome to hear. If there's any room for a humble brown man cameo, sign me up.
Done and done, done and done. Well, I'll tell you what, the one I'm writing is way down the road. The one that's coming next year in March is another Jay and Silent Bob movie, kids. And I can get you in that, no problem, man. There's a third act sequence in that movie that requires a ton of people. So if you just want to be on camera as a dude with a microphone commenting on this event that's going on, I got you, fam. As the kids used to say. God, I sound so old saying that. I won't say it.
No, I love that. As we wrap things up, I do want to say Dogma was the film I introduced. I told you this. My wife saw a first Kevin Smith film, Dogma. She's a big fan. So I'm excited for a new audience, a new generation to experience Dogma for the first time and for the rewatch. I mean, I loved watching it. I think I was 11 when it came out, maybe 8, putting an age on myself.
Now you're grown up and you can understand it all.
Exactly. Real quick, can we get like a box collection of all your movies one day?
I think it's possible, in as much as like Lionsgate did a really nice, some people were like, oh, it's too expensive. But I thought it was beautiful. A really nice box set of the three Clerks movies. And like one of them, they don't.
I want to show you. That's why I took this down, because I do have it here.
You got it?
Yeah. Right here.
Fire. I love that set. Now, they have Lionsgate has all the Weinstein Company titles. Sorry for saying the name. Paramount has all the Miramax titles. So my shit split up over a bunch of places. So to do a Clerks box set, they got in business with Paramount. And Paramount said, go ahead, put Clerks in it and stuff. Made a sweet deal. So we were able to do that. In order to do an entire View Askewniverse box set of all 8 movies at this point, you'd have to get Universal involved in that, but not impossible. Like, and honestly, like, I don't know if this is fact, but we had our steelbooks up for sale earlier this week or the end of last week. They blew out, and for a while it was saying they were sold out, and then Lionsgate added more. They were like, fuck it, it's selling and shit. So that is the path to getting a big old box set that crosses a few different studios. Universal doesn't seem to care about physical media as much anymore. So you can perhaps license that title. And, if it's financially worthwhile for Lionsgate, they could do that. But that would be the way to do it. And that's the only company that is going to and probably gives a shit about doing so. But they know that it would sell, like based on the action that we've seen in the last few years with Lionsgate, and just particularly what just went on with Dogma. I think that's a strong possibility, man. The time was, I'd always be like, too many different studios and stuff. But now I'm like, no, man, people need money. Like, studios ain't going to say no to free money. Like,
and I think we can do it as a baseball cap, or maybe a metal like version of like the jerseys you wear, something cool, something that's very Kevin Smithy. We need to put all those discs in, something like that.
I think if we were putting everything in it, it would be, let me see, what would the popcorn bucket be? I mean, they already did the quick stop with the Clerks flicks, which was so beautiful. It was just such a nice little box set. But there was somebody online who tore me a new asshole about, like, I paid like whatever it was, $150. I paid $150. It's just a piece of cardboard. And I was like, I didn't make it. And I don't set the prices and stuff. My movies are in it. That's it. But like, I like it. And as a fan, I am a Kevin Smith fan, one of the few, and the proud. But I didn't mind paying for it. I did buy one. They send you one, but like, I bought a few, sign them, sell them on our site and on the store, try to upcharge and shit.
No, the popcorn buckets are great. But Kevin, always a pleasure. One day I hope to visit a Kevin Smith set and soak up all that Kevin Smith magic. And yeah, I look forward to doing this again, man, because you're always a pleasure and an awesome
Such
individual.
A pleasure. I'm telling you, come out while we make that Jay and Bob flick.
I'll be there.
Done and done.